right, guys, I said I was going to do it. I was going to review the first few episodes of Batwoman Season 2, and so I am, with a hell of a lot of notes. Hi guys, my name is Maria Park, and this is Approach the Nerd, and in this episode, we are discussing Batwoman Season 2, Episode 1, entitled, What Happened to Kane? And honestly, we don't know because we haven't found the body, so just saying. So instead of me just going frame by frame, verbatim down this review, I'm just going to talk about some stuff that happened, and pretty much do it in the style of an outline because it's a lot easier. So first off, Kane is presumed dead because her plane GC9K23 crashes, and the reason she was on said plane was because she was flying to National City, which I don't understand because technically she was going to see Kara about potentially destroying the kryptonite shard that not only could kill Kara, could also is the only element on Earth strong enough to penetrate the bat suit. And she wanted Kara's permission because, you know, they got the shard back on Crisis Infinite Poop. She wanted permission to destroy it since Kara entrusted it to Kate, you know, in case, you know, Kara lost her crap and Kate had to come and take her out with it. Well, Luke blames himself in this episode because he's the one that kept, you know, kind of nagging Kate to destroy it and to get Kara to let them destroy it because he felt uneasy about it. And he thinks he's the reason that she got on the plane, and then that's why she's dead. Because, you know, Luke has to blame himself. So, but I guess it's just really weird because why didn't Kate just do a Zoom call? Or why didn't she ask Kara to just fly to Gotham from National City? It would have taken like no time and saved a hell of a lot of money. So you have to spring money on a plane, even though I know Kate's well off. But yeah, doesn't make any sense. 2, we meet Ryan Wilder. She is a young woman living in a van with her pet. We see her talking to her parole officer about not being able to get a job because of the unfair system, which is true. I mean, she just broke it down. We also see that she found the Batwoman suit the day prior to seeing her parole officer. And that, or actually, I think that she actually finds the Batwoman suit in between different visits, I believe, is what happened. I'll have to go back and look at it again. Anyway, it's either the day before the parole officer or a second parole officer visit. Whatever, not important. So she finds the Batwoman suit and she starts using it because she wants to find the person that killed her, or she blames basically for the death of her adopted mother, which happens to be Alice's gang because basically Ryan and her adopted mother got a brand new apartment. It was it's going to be the first day of their brand new life. And when they get there, Alice's gang had been squatting there. And so a fight ensues and her mother and the landlord were both murdered. And she basically had the shit beat out of her. So Ryan got beat up pretty badly. 2 things I had questions about in that scene. And number 1, the landlord I thought said, when they first were going to the apartment, that his office was just down the hall. And if that's the case, how did you not know that all these people were squatting in this apartment? I mean, they had to have been the quietest squatters on Earth. And Alice's gang does not seem to be that, you know, quiet. And they sure as hell don't sit still. So very confused about that. And number 2, Alice comes in and finds all the carnage and gets mad and tells her guys to come on. And then looks at Ryan, who's still alive, but basically really, you know, got the crap beat out of her. And she doesn't kill her, which is so out of character for Alice. I mean, that's not something I see Alice not doing. As a matter of fact, in this episode, she kills a woman who Tommy Elliot is basically sleeping with in Bruce Manor just for the hell of it. I mean, so I don't understand why she let Ryan live. But, you know, whatever. But I will say that the incident is going to be the main reason why her and Mary become very close. Because Ryan's mother was indirectly killed by Alice. And, of course, Mary's mother was directly killed by Alice. And both mothers died in their arms, basically. So there's that. So I think that's how they're going to bond and become BFFs and relate to each other. So I think Mary will be the closest to Ryan's character. I do like how Ryan had no idea how to use the suit, but still went and fought 2 goons to try and get Alice's location. And I love the verbiage. I love the banter she does, especially where she says, I don't have no idea what this button, you know, does, but how about we find out together? That was Makes sense. It makes sense. I'm glad that she didn't instantly know how to use the suit. They did point out, or at least a parole officer did point out that she used to teach martial arts, and she was saying, I'm sure some dojos will hire you. So we know that she's good in martial arts. So they basically just said it. It's right there. So that's how we set up her fighting ability. It didn't just come out of nowhere through the suit. She actually has fighting ability and was a martial arts instructor. I don't know what form. They don't go into that, but there you go. There it is. So Ryan, she has the bat suit and she's running around. And the first meeting between her, Luke, and Mary is pretty cool. She throws some percentages at them about why she's got the suit on, because they basically call her unworthy. And she's like, well, this is why I'm putting the suit on, because I am that percentage that's this, and this. She breaks it down, makes him feel like crap, and takes off. And I'm like, okay, I dig it. I'm not hating. I had respect for that. And she basically said, you'll get the damn suit back when I'm done. I'm not trying to be Batwoman. Bye. I did like that. That's a really natural response. So let's go over to Sophie. Sophie is not doing well because Sophie is hung up on Kate and has been since season 1. And she's at Kate's apartment after she believes that Kate is dead, hugging onto it and sniffing her jumper. And then Julia comes in. And if you remember, her and Julia kind of hooked up last season, and she asked Kate if that was okay. And now you see that Sophie is still completely in love and hung up on Kate. And Kate's gone. And Julia's kind of like, what's going on? You can see the jealousy in Julia. This is the second question that I have. So while they're at the apartment, Julia's like, why are you here? And, Sophie's like, I'm looking for clues. I don't know why you'd be looking for clues for a plane crash. You should be looking for the body, but whatever. Even though I think Sophie believes that Sophia had something to do with it. Like there's pictures, and it was a setup, and come to find out that's true. I'll get to that in a minute. But, she's at Kate's apartment because she misses Kate. That's the real reason. It's got nothing to do with it, what they were talking about with Sophia. But, and then she asked Julia while she's there, and Julia's like, oh, well, Kate ever told me if something happened to her to look in her safe. And, of course, Sophie's like, okay, let's go. And Julia's like, well, actually, she said only me. And then Sophie's like, well, she didn't mean that I wouldn't be included. So my question is this. Later on in the episode, when Julia starts talking about her suspicions that Sophie is actually still hung up on Kate, which means their relationship is invalid, she says, she hands her this letter, basically, that Kate left her in case something happened to her. And in this letter, it's basically a love letter to Sophie, revealing that Kate is really Batwoman, which is great. We'll get to that in a second. But why didn't she get the letter when they were at the apartment looking in the safe? Because she said they were going to go look in the safe if something happened to her. Is the safe not in the apartment? Was the safe somewhere else? Because Sophie was going to look in that safe. Did she not see the letter? I'm just curious. It's stuff that just kind of clinked in my brain is what, what happened. But anyway, so yeah, 2 people got got on the inside of who Batwoman is. One was Sophie through the letter, Kate's love letter, and basically goodbye letter, because that's a letter she wrote in case something ever happened to her. And the second came via Alice. So Alice basically approaches Tommy and she decides that she's going to squat in Bruce Manor with him because he's pretending to be Bruce. And of course, Bruce, aka Tommy, doesn't like it, so he anonymously goes to Jacob and tells him that, hey, your daughter's squatting at my house. Alice is at my house. Don't tell her it's me because I don't want to be on her hit list, yada yada yada, as Bruce. So of course Jacob goes to confront Alice, and he pulls a gun on her, and Alice is like, yeah, did you know that Kate was Batwoman? As a matter of fact, she died thinking you hated her because, you put a hit out on Batwoman. You said you hated Batwoman. So essentially you hated part of your child. Good job, Dad. And he's like so distraught over it. He hands her the gun, and she's like, if you don't believe me, go light the bat signal and see if she shows up. And of course she doesn't. So you see Jacob up there crying. I don't know what else his role is going to be Of course, he still has this unit that he commands, but I don't know what else Jacob's role is going to be because his connection is to Alice and to Kate. He's not in the Batwoman family. He's not the Bat family. So I don't know how much of a presence he's going to have outside of Mary in this season. So I'm really interested to see how he handles that. But I think we're going to go through a whole guilt arc with him, and hopefully they're not going to give up looking for Kate's body, because again, they haven't found it. Even though they found the pilot's hand floating, they haven't found Kate's body. And I'll tell you my theory on where I think that is in a minute. All right, so Tommy still has Bruce Wayne's face that was made by Alice last season. So yeah, he's absolutely masquerading as Bruce. He shows up at Wayne Industries, sees Mary, sees Luke, does not know how to get into the Batcave, convinces Luke that he's the man of the castle and, let him do the honors. So he gets into the Batcave. He kind of geeks out like most of us would about, with all the Bat toys. And then he goes back to Bruce Manor where, of course he has a kind of thing with Alice, where she asks to squat and basically blackmails him into squatting into the house. Basically, I made you, I can unmake you kind of situation. But what's interesting about Tommy goes back to the Batcave, grabs a weapon, starts blasting up the Batcave, looking for something. Well, it turns out to be the Batmobile. He wants the bat suit. Now, my problem with him going after Ryan for the bat suit, if you recall in season 1, the bat suit was modified for a woman. I'm 5'5". Javicia Leslie's somewhere between 5'3", 5'5", 5'6". This man looks like he's between 5'11" and 6 feet tall. How in the hell is he going to fit into the bat suit? So essentially, Tommy does not want to be Batman. He wants to be Batwoman. So, yay. Putting it out there. So back to Ryan. Ryan is having a lot of guilt about using the suit because she starts reading up an article on Kane and how all the stuff that Kate did out of suit, like donating money, how she left West Point because she didn't want to sign the don't ask, don't tell clause about her sexuality, just all these things. So she basically, Ryan's like, she was a hero inside and outside of the suit, so I don't have the right to wear it. So she turns on the tracking, a locator, and that's when she realizes, that's when everyone realizes that Tommy's going for the suit. And the reason that they knew that he's Tommy is because, unlike Luke, who does not realize immediately that Bruce, his mentor, is not Bruce, Julia basically figured it out in like 2 seconds because she did a code that he didn't understand that, basically was his idea. So she says, well, I'll tell my father, you send him his guards. He's at his cottage in Scotland when actually he's actually in a flat in London. And of course Tommy doesn't know this and basically says, oh, I'll give him a ring. So Julia goes and gets the glass out of Jacob's office because he basically went and told on Alice anonymously, like I said earlier in the interview, and does a DNA, takes the DNA off of it and traces it to Tommy, and it's Tommy, basically Tommy Elliot. And so she tells Luke, and then they realize that he's going after, Ryan to get the suit because he wants to be Batwoman once again. And I love the fact that Mary asks, she asks Luke if he can hack the Batmobile, to which he responds with maybe, but I didn't even realize it was here. I'm like, so there's stuff in the Batcave that even Luke doesn't know is there. So I'm very curious to see if we find anything else. Just throwing it out there. But yeah. So long story short, Ryan beats the holy shit out of Tommy. She beats his ass. I mean, when you watch the Batman trailer with Robert Pattinson and you see him just railing that thug in the Batwoman and the Batman trailer, that's what she does to Tommy. And his nice little Bruce face gets all smashed and it's gross. She beats the hell out of him. So I can tell that Ryan have some anger management issues, which I would too if my mother was killed and my life was destroyed by Alice, and then I went to jail for a dope charge and I didn't even have dope. She was just found with the dope, I guess, there when they came, and she got arrested and served 18 months. Surprised they didn't pin the murder on her too. That would have been interesting. Maybe because she got beat up so bad. But yeah, she got arrested for it. So she has a rap sheet and she's technically a felon. So I'd be angry too. So I'd have a lot of anger management on that too. Just saying. But yeah, outside of that, I mean, it was a pretty solid episode. I actually am impressed that they managed to tie up a lot of stuff, even keeping the mystery of if Kate Kane actually dead. The only other revelation we had, even though we name dropped Sophia a lot, because even Sophie asked Julia, "Do you think that they went after Kate because of Sophia and what you said? Because Kate was close to you too." I don't know if she's really blaming Julia for that, but, you know, kind of insinuating it that it might be her fault. At least that's how I took it. When Alice was walking back to the place, the little sewage area or place that she was hiding out with Mouse before she killed him last season, she finds, like, she's walking, and then out of this, like, gray area, there's, like, a paper airplane, which is actually the article of Kate saying what happened to Kate Kane. And on the back, it says, "Now we're even, Sophia." Now, my theory is that Kate Kane is not dead and that Sophia took her and made it look like she died. Because in the comics, Kate Kane and Sophia had a little thing. And so more than likely, she just Oliver Queened Kate. And so now Kate is on an island, you know, with Sophia kidnapped for years. Well, she'll have to do like a little intro, like Arrow. "My name is Kate Kane, and I was kidnapped by Sophia, who was pissed off at my twin sister for being a bitch, and then took over. Everyone took over, or went on with their lives, and, like, you know, now my superhero persona was taken over by somebody else, and now I have nothing to live for. My name is Kate Kane." You know, just something stupid like that. I probably should shut up, or the CW might try to write that. But yeah, so Sophia is definitely involved, which kind of tracks because we know that Sophia is going to be in this season. But Tommy is out. I'm happy they didn't drag this Tommy thing out. It would have been stupid. He has no connection to Ryan. It only would have affected Bruce. Or Bruce being there would only affect Kate Kane, maybe Alice, maybe Jacob, potentially Mary, definitely Luke. He would have had a bigger impact on those characters, but because it has nothing to do with the journey that is Ryan now, it would have been pointless and completely stupid. Having a connection to Alice because Alice indirectly killed your mom still has Alice in the game. There's no reason for Tommy Elliot to, you know, portray Bruce and have any effect, because the only thing Ryan would have saw Bruce Wayne as is Batman, and she would have fangirled. It would not have been, "You're my mentor," or "You're my cousin." She has no connection to this person. She can't even relate to him. He is a billionaire and she's on the streets. There's no relation there. So I'm glad they didn't drag it out, because it would have been dumb. I'm glad that they found a really good way of tying that up. I'm really interested to see where we go from here. And the revolution of Alice's plan, having basically her telling, you know, Tommy that I'm mad not because my sister is dead, but because my plan was to have that kryptonite, you know, put into a gun that my father uses to shoot Batwoman, and then raise up her cow and realize that he shot his own daughter, hence destroying him too. That's her master plan. She wanted to go all out because she's crazy. And Alice is proven to be even more nuts because she's still cuddling up to Mouse's dead body. So she's nuts. And I'm really interested to see how her and Sophia get together, or what their interaction will be when Sophia comes to town, and why Sophia comes to town. So much. And we're going to get a lot of new characters too. So yeah, I'm going to continue reviewing this. I'm definitely going to do episode 2. But I'm really curious. I'm very curious to see where it goes from here. I did not hate this episode. I kind of liked Ryan. So I'm hoping they can keep the momentum up. I know there'll probably be reviews out there that are very negative about it, but quite frankly, I don't think they did a bad job with the pilot for season 2. And I call it pilot because it's Javicia Leslie's pilot. So I don't think they did a really bad job at that. But that is my opinion, guys. I want to know what you think. So please leave me a comment below and let me know. And if you would like to sign up for Jury Duty, hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to know who's next on Nerd Ballot, hit the notification bell. Until next time, I can't wait for you to approach the nerd. Bye, guys.
Thank you for watching my video. I really appreciate it. But hey, the party doesn't have to stop now. Click on one of these videos and keep it going.